My HGV Insurance is proud to sponsor Trucking TV. Let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.
Welcome to Trucking TV's look at Bryan J Nunn's second preserved Scania. This time it's his 142, still with a mostly original paint job.
69 was the first 140, then the 141, then the 142. The 2 Series was launched in 1980. They first came to Britain in 1981. Now when I wrote my Russell Davies book, they said that Russell Davies had the first 2 142s in Britain, but they didn't. They were TGV 937X and 938X, and I've seen 2 Ws, TNM 808 and 809W, which is a bit of a mystery, but they existed. Rober had it, and the other one was the demo, and someone called Middleton's had that, but they were 388 horsepower. The later 142s were 420s, so they were a bit bigger.
Which is this?
Which is what this is. But if you had one of these, you were the nuts. Nearly triple the horsepower of that 80. Well, that's saying something to me, isn't it? That was underpowered in its day, but this is on top of the job, and more.
And this would do it?
Sorry?
Easy. And this would do it?
Yeah, it's a powerhouse. Yeah. I'd pull a house down. I'd love to have it on a load, actually, and see what that's like going uphill. I bet that's awesome.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen. I've got to be content with bounce and solo. This was the motor to have, wasn't it, Brian? Big engine, big cab, which is ridiculous when you look at it, to think that that was a big cab in its day, but it was. 10-speed gearbox. They'd fly. So this would go up a hill loaded as fast as that would roll down the other side. And this didn't have a limiter on originally, did it? That was pre-limiter. It still hasn't got a limiter.
Do 80 mile an hour now.
Well,
but of course,
I haven't been over 50 because I'm a professional, so I don't know that it hasn't got a limiter.
Not by experience.
No,
anyway.
no, I haven't. I wouldn't.
So when we look at this, let's kind of put these 2 vehicles together. You've got a lot more oomph. You've got a lot more comfort for the driver.
Well, it's got a proper bunk for a start. That's actually got a twin bunk.
Right.
So you've got one bed to chuck all your stuff on and another one to sleep on.
Right.
So that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wrap around dash, exhaust brake.
So it's getting more modern now.
Yeah, that's the answer, yeah. We haven't got electronic fuel ignition, injection. That's the thing now about engines. This has got a manual fuel pump in it. And the 470, your 470, was the first one you had with electronic fuel injection, wasn't it? But that didn't have the power of this, did it?
no.
Or the 450s. You had a 450 in an F-Reg, but once we get into this electronic engine management, it's good for economy, but you're getting less power out of the same size lump. Actually, a bigger lump.
And that's how you keep the fuel use down.
But yes, but it's actually the emissions we're chuffing out now is actually governing the power, because we can't put out what we want to put out.
Because these could leave a bit of a smoke trail.
Well, this does. I've never done it, but it's got twin stacks on this. They're awesome, and they burble. You've got to drive it with the window open to hear it. There's nothing other sound like it as a Bryan. Well, there you go then. Say no more.
When that's running with unit only, she's a little bit of a rough ride.
Bounce like a pig,
You know,
to be
that's not
honest.
like the air suspension now. But that was good in its day. I mean, that was, night heaters had come in. Fortunately, air conditioning hadn't really then much in trucks, but we'd got a night heater and 2 bunks. But very powerful lorry, not too good on the fuel consumption. You wouldn't want to be running one today.
No.
The more modern the vehicles, the better fuel consumption, really, isn't it?
But
Yes,
it was all right
definitely.
in its day.
In its day, oh yeah. Well, diesel, the price of diesel weren't such a big issue. I think at this time that was possibly about 26p a litre. So that weren't such a big issue as what it is today. We used to earn good money them days, but the margins have seemed to have dwindled, We've gone up in the thing. This one was in fact, it was 38 tonne when this was new, 38 tonne. Had just come in. Originally, we were mainly 32 tonners on 4 axles, and then we started going to and put it up to 38 tonne on 5 axles, and because now that's 44 tonne on 6 axles.
With road-friendly suspension.
With road-friendly suspension, which they mean
When you first had this, you were doing the beet, and that was the beet season. What else did you do, Bryan?
Grain, aggregates, topsoil, mainly I suppose that was on mainly agricultural haulage, and in the quieter times we pulled the food containers with it out of Felixstowe Port.
When you're quiet, you have to do
On the
anything.
quiet, yeah, when we call the growing season, between sort of April and July, there was not much being harvested and things, but we was still doing a bit of grain, obviously. But quieter times we went on to other things.
Are you still doing the same kind of
Same
mix?
sort of still sugar beet is a big part of our business. We did 10,000 lorry load last year. We load them and clean them and haul them. Bit of a 7-day operation, and but that's what we do. So it's but you see, with coming up now, you need to be carrying 29 tonne. Well, that would make that not uneconomical to use this vehicle, but they want to keep it here for another 10 years, and hopefully go to 1 or 2 more shows with it, Simon, don't you?
Definitely.
Keep polishing it.
Yeah,
Do you do
keep
any
polishing
other
it.
polishing, Bryan?
Bits and pieces. Yeah, not too much myself. I keep it clean. That's not one of them what's gleaming. Is an original motor in it.
So
I ain't got no bling on it now.
No, but that's not about that to me.
No.
This is I love having these things at a show I put together because it's what people don't see. And they forget where we've come from in a lifetime, perhaps they didn't live. But if you think of the technology that we've got now and what we've got, a new Scania is £135,000. That's a house to me.
This was, I think, 31,000 new when I bought this.
But that's,
So a V8 today would be nearly 100,000 more, I suppose, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
With all the bling on it.
that's
That's the
crazy.
difference how things are gone.
when you look at this, you can see the chassis and the bodywork, or the chassis you can see has all been dealt with and painted. What about the actual livery on the cab?
No, that's fairly. A lot of that we have had a little bits and pieces. The bottom half has been painted, and obviously the bumper and whatnot. But
Has it not had a full respray?
that ain't. I don't think she's ever had a full respray at one go. But we've had odd
bits.
panels done.
Yeah.
When
You can
someone's
see that's
in
gone a little bit under the window. That need a little bit of attention now. But like I say, if you can keep them dry and keep them, they'll last a long way. That's the salt out on the road and getting wet, which will start to rust them.
Join us again when we have a look inside the cab of the 142 and take a look at Bryan's fleet from nearly 30 years ago.
Why not give us a call on 0161 410 1061 when you're arranging your HGV insurance, or visit our website at www.myhgvinsurance.co.uk or our Facebook page at HGV Insurance, and let us take the stress out of arranging your HGV insurance.